Good afternoon, friends. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm showing you right here, I'm running a free group on Facebook, my 5-day free running academy that started today. And today in my group, we talked about having a plan with your running. Hello, thanks for tuning in, Kels. For those of you catching the replay, thank you so much for joining. My name is Jasmine Nemec. I am a running coach at mommymarathon.com. Oh, thank you so much. Right now I'm running a free 5-day group on Facebook, so you got to check it out. If you go to the link in my profile, my Periscope, you can click right to the group. I'm giving tons of free running tips. My heartbeat for starting this group was that a lot of my clients that I work with, I know free's the best, right? A lot of the clients that I work with are runners. Well, they're all runners, but they often struggle with losing weight, which you would think is really odd because they are running so much. My girls run, some of them 5-6 days a week, 45 minutes of cardio at a time, but they are struggling with weight gain. How is this possible with them doing so much cardio? They eat well, they do tons of cardio, and they're still just stuck in their body that they're not happy with. So in this group, I know they run a ton and they don't see results. So I started this group to talk about some of the common issues that we work through that as runners, we are mistraining a lot. And each day I talk about a common mistake that runners make in their training. So today I covered their running plans. The two most common things I see with runners in regards to their running plan, they either don't have a plan or their plan is, their plan is not, does not make any sense, to put it blunt. Or in their plan, they're not training correctly. So for example, even just on the comments in my group page today, a lot of my girls are said, yeah, I'm just running to run and that's about it, which is fine, but you need to have a plan and there needs to be a well thought out plan. When you are training for races, or even just training for running in general, there's 4 phases that you go through as a runner. There's the base phase, there's what I call the bridge phase, which bridges you into what's called the heavy phase, and then the peaking phase. So base phase is where you are doing all easy miles, your heart rate, exactly, a plan is so important. Your heart rate stays very low on your runs. You should not be going over 150 beats per minute, which I strongly stress that my runners wear heart rate monitors to make sure they do so. And here's why. When we run with our heart rates lower, that is how we can actually run to burn fat. Yes. So what happens with my girls is they think, okay, I got to lose weight, so I need to just go out and run fast and bust out miles. Well, you know what happens when you do that? Your body physically cannot sustain running the pace you're running. And instead of, going into your glycogen storage or going into your fat, it starts taking away from your muscle. So it's actually making you weaker. So I try to teach my girls the importance of running at a proper easy pace. So when my girls are in the base phase, I tell them their proper pace based on, a lot of different formula things that I figure out. And I have them gear up for at least 6 to 10 weeks of slow running. So yes, you are running as a runner for 6 to 10 weeks, sometimes even up to 6 months, depending on what, my girls are training for, of slow miles, because your cardiovascular system, specifically your aerobic system, needs to be very strong to be able to sustain workouts or when you're getting into your anaerobic system. When you run a race, 90% of your race is done aerobically, which is your aerobic system, which means your body is solely using oxygen as your energy source, oxygen or glycogen. When you start going into your anaerobic system, which is only actually 10% of your race, that is when you start to, need energy sources from different places, and that's when your workouts start to come in handy. But isn't it amazing that 90% of races are done aerobically, which means that you need to be running slow. Run slow, run slow. This is something my runners do so often that just totally messes up their plan. And this is why they're not losing weight, because they're not running slow. It just seems like a miracle. What? I get to run slow and lose weight? I'm telling you, that's exactly how you do it. There's, just as I stated, there's that first phase, the base phase of running slow. My second phase is which I'd call the bridging stage, which is when I would have never thought of that. Yeah, it's so true. It's taken me a lot of years. I learned the hard way, but yes, it's been such a help to me. So then you go into the bridge phase where you do start to incorporate some workouts and long runs. Again, we call this a bridge phase because your workouts aren't very hard. They are tempo and fartlek runs. You're kind of showing your body what it's like to work hard, but it's not to a place yet where you are exhausting your body. That comes when you start going into your heavy phase, which is phase 3. Again, each of these phases has to be at least 6 weeks long. It takes a while to get into really good running shape. But the heavy phase is when you start doing interval workouts, your 800s, your mile repeats, your 1,000-meter repeats, and that's when your body really starts to exhaust. And that is when all that time that you took to work to build up to this, your body is able to sustain it. You can still burn fat because of the other long run days and slow days, but your body's also able to get ready for races. And lastly, my runners go into their peak phase, which is my most favorite because it's like the cherry on top of all your work. I really back down your mileage. I keep your workouts intense so you are ready to race, but then your body is able to compensate from all the work it's doing. So think your body's working really, really hard. It's broken down. Then we let it rest and it builds up to be stronger and ready to run PRs. It's seriously the most beautiful concept. It works time and time again with my clients. And it has been proven to work. So that's why I'm really particular about, people who just find plans on Pinterest or free ones on the internet. There's a lot more thought that goes into a running plan. It's not just go run and run a fast race. You need to progress in a certain way to make sure that your body can handle what you're doing and is going to actually perform better. So I hope you found this helpful. Again, I'm giving all these tips away for free on my free Facebook group. You can go to the link in my profile to check it out. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's taken me a lot of years. I've had a lot of mentoring and, certifications and read a lot of books and from personal experience. This is what works. And this is why it's so important to have a coach who tells you how to properly train for races and for weight loss, because those are also a little different as well. So thank you, ladies, so much for tuning in. Again, if you are needing some running help, you're in a running slump, you've been doing tons of miles and you are not losing weight or you're not performing well, let me help you. Check out my free group on Facebook. I'm giving away tons of essential tips for your training, and I'm also going to give away some prizes and some opportunities to have a discount on my next running academy that starts February 1st. I hope to see you there. Have a